going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review. And today what's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review. And today we're taking a look at the SDCC Dinobots set, the G1 colored, chromed out, gold, silver, really nice and chrome set that just came out in SDCC 2014. So we really can't start talking about these guys without talking about this box first. And this box is enormous, considering that it houses 3 Deluxes and a Voyager. Just an absolutely huge box, great artwork on the front. So inside the box you get another box, nothing really on the top, Autobot logo bottom, a little bio of Mount St. Hilary from G1, and then about the artist. The artist being the same guy who did that Transforming pop-up book, so it's all pretty amazing. Now inside the bottom here there is this like drawer that you pull out, and inside there it'll contain all your Dinobots. You can see how they fit in there. So really this is as big as the set needed to be. So let's try to get this whole thing in frame as best as I can while I show you how this transforms basically. So you basically get under here and you undo the Velcro here. And you gotta flip this whole piece around, and you see you have these 6 pieces of Velcro, 3 on each side. You want this whole thing to flip all the way over. You may need a little bit of help to guide it because it's so thick, and then basically flatten that cardboard on this side here, on both of the sides, so it connects, and that'll hold the whole playset together, making a nice little representation of the G1 Mount St. Hilary scene. There you go, your volcano, your arc. If you flip it to the other side, some of this stuff doesn't translate quite as well. These little, I don't know, cables or whatever do flatten out at the bottom here, but the ramps and everything pop up, and this little piece here has a little bend just because of how it folds. But you do have, the front side, a nice place to access Teletran 1 here, and if we kind of scroll up a little here, you can hopefully see the helicopter pad. So overall, it's a really neat and big playset. How big is it? Well, right here I have the whole Teletran playset, and to the left of it I have the G1. This is not a world's smallest or anything. G1 Fort Max, and you can just see everything, even the height, just massively large comparatively. And you'll have to apologize, I'm doing this by hand because frankly there's just no better way. But yeah, just enormous. Never noticed the Teletran thing from Prime's trailer there. That's pretty neat. And of course the playset is sized perfectly to let your typical Voyager size Optimuses be coming on out to go battle Megatron there. So on questioning what it's like, it's a pretty heavy cardstock. Well, there's no reason you'd ever put a alternity card. There is a pretty good chunk of die cast in there on the helic pad there. We can put, our Orion down, and this is the part that is basically just all popped up. We can put Grimlock on. We can put Slag on, or Snarl on. I guess we can put Slag in there. You can put Swoop. Once we have all these, finally it starts feeling like it's gonna buckle. I actually did try to throw on the Trypticon, and that I felt was pushing it. But you can see it's pretty weighty. Your actual, deluxe figures, you're probably not gonna have too big of a problem. Orion's a pretty heavy guy. You're only gonna put a couple of them on the top here, I would say, before you're probably overdoing it. But it is a pretty capable set to hold all these toys without much of a problem. And of course, putting it away just as easy. Undo the Velcro, flip the whole thing closed, Velcro it up, and we're back to a box. So now that we're done with the box, let's take a look at the 4 Dinobots. Of course, we got Grimlock, we've got Snarl, we've got Slug, we're gonna call him Slag, and we got Strafe, we're gonna call that Swoop. There is a Sludge that is an Amazon exclusive. It's been announced. It's like 40 bucks or something like that. So if you got this set, it's pretty much a no-brainer that you're getting that one. So expect a review of that later. But anyway, here's the 4 Dinobots. They all look pretty darn amazing in their, chromed out glory. They're definitely fingerprint magnets, but just beautiful. Really well done. We got the swoop equivalent here. I think the heads look super duper G1 with the clear transparent like that. Just a shame that there's 2 of them. I wish you could kind of compress them somehow, but oh well. I believe that this is how the wings go. I feel like there's something that I'm missing here, but everything I can see shows me that the wings don't really connect in any meaningful way. So, yeah, I feel like Strafe slash Swoop here is kind of like the weakest of the Dinobots, personally. But, he's not bad. He completes the set. We'll move on to Grimlock. Grimlock's got some nice red metallic, some chrome going on. No gold metallic on him. Looks good. As you saw in the beginning, I was having a little fun. He does have the mouth chomping gimmick here. I sort of wish that you pushed it to open it versus, the other way, but that's okay. I just wouldn't mind seeing him with a closed mouth or some way to lock it closed like that. But again, real nice. Again, movie aesthetic, but still pretty cool looking Tyrannosaurus, I suppose. And I did want to mention that they do come with their weapons, like the extension to Grimlock's tail, but I just think it looks ridiculous. So you'll never see it on my Grimlock except for when he's in robot mode. Strafe also came with these that are supposed to go into the ports on his wings here, but unfortunately because of the chrome, the hole is too small to fit it properly, and I don't want to either stress the plastic, break the chrome, anything like that. So these will just stay in the box unless they get used in robot mode. And you do have the bow and arrow that does peg onto his back, if that interests you, but I like how he looks in his dinosaur mode without it, personally. Now we get to the 2 that I think are probably my favorites of this set. Here is our slug slash slag. And he's just looking really mean. The way the chrome translated on his face, like, it just looks so good. It catches the light so well. He's really a pretty toy. Looks really tough too. Only articulation you really get on this guy is his little front paws kind of move a little bit, and you can open his mouth. Pretty much the same for all these guys. You can do a little leg movement on Grimlock, and for Strafe here you can kind of move the wings in and out a little and open and close this up if you want. And of course every single one of them seems to have a mouth that works. Strafe with 2. So yeah, this is Slug, and then finally is the Snarl equivalent, and by far he is my favorite. And let's see, does he have a mouth that opens? I'm pretty sure that was the goal for all of them, to have mouths that moved. It doesn't seem to want to move, but his head does. So I'm not gonna force anything if I can, but oh, there we go. Yep, it moves. Good, perfect. So yeah, every mouth moves. And look at the chrome gold and the regular chrome. Just looks so good. Maybe a little bit more yellowy than it is gold, but man, it's just really impressive to see in person. And I think that this is my personal favorite of these Dinobots. So let's start with the swoop equivalent here. He is, in my opinion, the least interesting. So you can start by flipping his legs around there at the thigh and just kind of flip the whole knee assembly down the toes of the pterodon, pterodactyl, whatever he's supposed to be with 2 heads, become knee pads there. And so just finish this up here like so. There's his legs. And I feel his transformation is just really the least interesting. There's not a whole bunch going on. This tail is articulated, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It just goes up and down, so you can pose it for however you want to do it. You then unpeg his hands here from the wings carefully. There we go. I'm hesitant to do anything too rough with the chrome because I have seen a couple little flecks of chrome on me since getting these guys. And then for the wings, you pretty much just kind of fold them down and around however you want. The instructions kind of show them folded all the way in, and it's really best to probably do it from the back so you're not scratching the chrome on each other. But kind of something like this. Your mileage may vary on how you want to pose them, but kind of got this thing going on here like this. and it's really kind of weird because the way his leg armor is shaped, like, you see that in his legs? Like, I don't know. Does everybody strafe do that, or is it just mine that it comes in this way and then bows out to the sides? It looks very weird. Anyway, so we got that. You take these heads, you swing them like this, and turn them on in, and then fold the Terra whatever head down like this in front of his chest, and then just kind of grab that head crest and pull it out there, and then I guess we just gotta clean up the hands. Now the thing that really bothers me about every single one of these Dinobots is not one of them has a good set of hands. Like, I can't rotate it so his fist is upwards to work with his elbow. So every single one of them kind of has that gorilla type feel going on. And it worked for the Unique Toys Galvatron because when you have the fusion cannon hanging off the side, it looks good. But when you give something like some swords here, I don't feel that there's anything natural that can be done to hold the swords that doesn't look stupid. So my Dinobots are probably gonna be mostly unarmed when they're on display here. Even his crossbow thing doesn't really look all that good. He looks like he's kind of holding his gun sideways weirdly, and that's never very effective. So yeah, I don't like the arms necessarily on these guys. He stands just fine. I'm just a little bit heavy-handed at times. So yeah, I mean, he's not bad, but he's by far my least favorite of the set. One other thing I wanted to point out before we move on, I really wish there was a little bit of red paint inside the visor or something, because it's pretty boring, and I kind of want to do it myself, but I don't want to mess with the value of such an exclusive set. So moving on to the second non-favorite, it's got to be Grimlock, unfortunately, and we start by kind of adjusting his little muscle man arms here on down like this, and once we have this set, we can lift up this chrome piece all the way up like so, and then kind of split his legs here so you can actually get the robot's legs all the way down and around. Once you have this set, we can go ahead, again, elf shoes, that's the running theme, and split the legs here. We do have some decent ankles on here, but they're kind of not really terribly usable. I guess a little bit to, you know, stabilize him, but, you know, if he was standing like that, it'd look kind of weird. But anyway, back to the transformation. So take these, and then you want to rotate this little red piece on around, and then plug it on into his T-Rex shoulder, I guess you'd call them. Pieces end up becoming waist armor. So let's actually raise the camera here so we can see the rest of what we have going on. The top of this folds all the way down and does lock in. Take his head, and you can transform him with the head both turned around or facing the right way. It really doesn't matter. I like the more sleek look. So here we go. We'll turn his head around. A pretty interesting Grimlock head sculpt, actually. You know, like, you can kind of see a Grimlock in there. It's like he's wearing Darth Vader's helmet or something with, you know, a Jaws fin on his head. But yeah, I can still see Grimlock, so, you know, pretty good. I think that looks pretty cool for what it is, all things considered. So take that. We, if you didn't notice, I just rotated the arms around. So the next thing to do is to flip these little red toes, and you kind of have to rotate the wrist around, and then you'll see you got that hole right here, and you can plug everything in. And once again, the wrist is on the side, so he's always just like clenching his fist and, you know, anger there, which is fine. He's a Dinobot and all, I get it, but, you know, it really cuts off posability with this guy. So there we go, we got that. And we'll come to the back here, and this part is a little weird. We separate the dinosaur head, and because it's chrome again, it feels super tough to get the head apart the first time, but that's what you gotta do. And you rotate it up, it plugs into his back, you kind of position that, and then just kind of drop that silver piece down on the back like this, his jaw just kind of hangs there, which is, you know, not the best thing I've ever seen, but I guess it doesn't really hinder the toy too much. So there you go. There's Grimlock. Don't forget his little waist piece. And this is the one that, his weapon that comes with him. And it comes with a little handle on the side. But again, because there's no waist rotation, or wrist rotation, there's just no way that I see that you can make him hold it that I think looks cool. I mean, nothing. So, it's a little disappointing, but I do overall like this Grimlock. Once again, I think mine will likely go without his weapons here. And just kind of rock the, you know, semi-ape-like look. This is as close as I can get to having it, you know, forward. If you don't mind not plugging these pieces in, you can actually get that forward rotation, and I think on certain angles of his wrist, it's hidden enough that the peg is there and it's not pegged in that I think it looks okay. But seriously, these wrists should be rotating. I don't like that. Alright, so we'll get on the Slug next, and I forgot to mention he does of course come with his swords that plug in ridiculously on the side of Dinosaur. Not an accessory I need. So we're going to start transforming him by folding up his tail like this. Take his little feet, fold them all the way around. We can then unfold his legs here. And once again, make sure we unfold the elf shoes. What Dinobot doesn't need his elf shoes? So then once we get here, this is where it is a little more confusing. You have to unpeg these chrome pieces from the side here and try to move them around so they don't really bump into things too much. I feel like this guy is the most delicate in terms of getting his chrome bits all kind of scraped to bits. So we'll see how he holds up over time. But again, still one of my favorite looking. So we go take that and we split the dinosaur head, as you saw. And this part is a little bit tricky because you have to kind of get things out of the way here. These black pieces kind of have to fold behind the dinosaur head. And you split this open, and a lot of things happen at one time here. So as you're splitting this open, you need to rotate the dinosaur head down on his shoulder there. You want to rotate these little flaps on in, and they don't appear to go any further. They just kind of sit like this. So once you have this done, then you can take, well, we'll flip out his wrists here, which are just on a swivel. Like so. And he has probably the best wrist setup because they face the right way, so he doesn't need to look like a gorilla, which I appreciate. And now you're supposed to come down here, and there's this little peg here and this little hole here, and somehow you're supposed to get this to peg in. I've never actually gotten it to peg in super securely on this one. It kind of does. I don't know if, you know, maybe it is just a loose peg, but never felt like it's actually holding anything. But it will at least just peg into position to let you kind of position his little dinosaur hands as kind of side armor there, like this. And we just need to make him stand. And in robot mode, he's not as good as he is in dinosaur mode, but I still think he's pretty good. This piece doesn't seem to do anything. You can fold it up more if you want and have it sitting up like this, but the instructions just tell you to leave it like that. So I guess you can drop it down a little to make kind of like rear armor or something. But he's not bad. Like I said, everything on him I think is one of the best because he doesn't have the gorilla arms going on, so he actually can hold his swords in a way that I feel is at least a little bit more convincing. So finally we'll take a look at Snarl here, and we're going to start Snarl by taking off this blade thing, and you can unfold it and it makes kind of like a hand axe type thing. Pretty cool. Next thing to do is kind of split his body here in half. We'll work on, I guess, the legs first, because why not? So after we have that in half, we can split Snarl in half and pull out his knees there, you can see. Come down here, rotate the dinosaur head on in to his leg, which is a little tough to do, but it goes there, and then we rotate out again the elf shoes. And what's pretty cool is they did put a second dinosaur head in there on the other side to kind of make it more symmetrical aside from the tabs. So that's kind of a cool detail that I wasn't expecting to see in there. But yeah, okay, so we'll pull out his other foot here like this, and then these little dinosaur feet are supposed to like collapse on up like this. They don't really do anything but just hang out there. So the next thing to do is to take this whole assembly and plug it into the waist here with a little click. Once that's in position, we got the bottom of the bot all ready to go. So the next thing to do is to come back here to the sides and flip these chrome tail bits out, and this will free up one of his weapons. It's the only weapon I think is definitely integral to the robot here. And rotate his arm so it's the right place, and you can see that tab is going to go into that hole on each side here for his arms. So once we got that, we'll flip his arms on around, and I'm going to show you how Hasbro has it listed that this is supposed to go. Flip out these arms here. They're on a rotation joint here, like so. And we'll get them to stand. There we go. We'll pull these on down because I like his shoulders to be, you know, across the sides there, like that. We flip the tail piece on back, and we lift his head. He has probably one of the most interesting faces of the Dinobots for whatever reason. I think it's pretty cool looking. And we're gonna fix his leg so he's standing more normal like. There we go. And this is how Hasbro, well, I'm sorry, we do also have to split the tail here, and the tail, or the spines do fold like completely 90 to the body, but I kind of leave them like this just because it gives you more clearance for the arm tail bits. So this is how I personally keep them. And this is how Hasbro tells you to, with these awful wrists like this, which granted, he now can, you know, bring his wrist up to his shoulder there and hold things, but it's pretty weird. Again, he looks better if you pull the whole Gorilla Man type thing going on here like this and put it on the side like so. But yeah, that's how Hasbro tells you to do it. This is how I personally do it. He is a little bit more wobbly than the other ones, and I'm not really sure why that would be. They all seem to be constructed fairly similarly, so I don't know, maybe just luck of the draw. He does have translucent plastic as a waist piece, and that's maybe a little bit worrisome. Maybe that's why he has the problem standing. But yeah, he's not bad. I think he's one of the coolest looking of the crew. You can, of course, and in some of the cases I do think it does benefit you to put his wrist the broken way, as I like to call it. This weapon can peg on in, and I don't really know what it is necessarily. So this one, I kind of keep him doing the Monkey Man. And this one is the one that I prefer to have him with his extremely broken wrist, so you can hold it a little bit more interestingly. So yeah, I really like this guy though. I think he's my favorite of the set, even with a little bit of extra leg wobble. Okay, one thing real quick before we go on. There is a tab in here to shore up his foot. It still doesn't help the wobble in his upper legs, but at least it takes his foot out of the equation as one of the pieces that's making him wobbly. So, final opinion. I think these guys are a really nice set of toys. If the G1 Colors does something for you, let that be the reason you buy this set. So, final opinion on these guys. I think that they're a really nice set. It's not really going to be for everyone. Some people are going to be happy with their much cheaper, you know, fruit-colored Dinobots, as we can call them. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Personally, for my taste, I think the best two is going to either be the AOE Platinum set with the all black movie bots, or the G1 set, and I just kind of like the looks of these guys in the G1 colors. They're obviously not my G1 Dinobots, they're not standing in on a classic shelf, but I do think they look really, really cool in these colors, and I can't wait to get Slog/Sludge to at least complete the original 5, so to speak. The pop-up set is a huge draw to this set. I think that if you're buying it, you probably shouldn't just buy for the G1, but if you are buying for the G1, these 4 figures in, if you can get it for retail price, including that box, is still cheaper than buying like 2 or 3 of these figures from Takara, so there's still a deal to be had if you want to collect the G1 colors. But I think the box is a huge draw too, and it's not going to be for everybody because it takes up a ton of room. I don't even think I'm going to be displaying it anywhere, to be completely honest. But yeah, if you're interested in it, maybe you can get these guys and then sell the box for 30-40 bucks, and have your slog already paid for. So yeah, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and as soon as Slog comes in, we'll be taking a look at him, and I'm sure you'll see all these guys again. So see you guys next week.